Welcome to your weekly dose of
Realty Check.
I'm Carly Fridman.
And I'm Michelle Morris. Today's our first ever episode, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about why we're doing this podcast, the highs, the lows, the hilarious of the week. We're going to do a fun Would You Rather game, and we're going to throw in a few story times.
If you're interested, listen along.
Okay, so we decided to do a podcast because basically we feel that we lack our personality coming through on Instagram.
Well, I think it's a bit of that, and that we just, personally, I think I'm hilarious. And when we keep doing these things online and we keep asking people, like, what should we do more of? And people are like, a day in the life or talk to your phone. Yeah, none of that's going to happen with us.
We have
like,
a really hard time with getting on our phone and, hi, good morning, this is what we're doing today.
For sure, and we're very private people in general, and I think that's what comes across is that our private lives are never really shown on our Instagrams or in at all. So we kind of needed to find an outlet where you could get to know us better and kind of feel what we're about without doing something that we were uncomfortable with, doing it in our own way.
It's going to evolve based on what you guys want to hear from us, whether we want more real estate information, whether it's more about what we do on the day-to-day. And I think also what maybe none of you guys know is that 9:01 a.m. my phone rings. Carly chomps at the bits to call me at 9:01 a.m.
Well, I got up at 6:45 and I'm like literally staring in my car at the gym or literally in my house at the phone from 8:53 until 9:01. I'm staring at the phone like, can I call Michelle? Can I call Michelle? Can I call Michelle? And like emails will come in. I'm like, but she's emailing, but I still can't call her because Michelle, if you call her before 9:01,
I'm not answering.
She's just not happy with me. We kind of have the same rule at night unless it's something that's personal or funny.
Urgent.
Like as of like maybe 7:45, like we're not calling each other. Like there's nothing that's really that important unless we're together. FYI, unless it's important, I'm not answering my phone after 7:45, 8 p.m. I'm so wasted by the end of the day of just talking to
not
people.
Drunk, just
exhausted that like at one point I just don't want to talk anymore. Like I can't hear myself talk. And you know, I think people think you can't hear yourself. Like that's a misconception. I literally hear the words going through my head all day, and it is exhausting. A big part of what a real estate agent does is talk. You know,
all day long.
Yeah, we're talking, we're coaching, we're helping our clients, we're, you know, describing houses, we're negotiating, we're talking to everybody, literally. And at one point, debriefing. At one point, you're just like, can I have a moment of silence? And Michelle also listens to a lot of podcasts. So like that was where the idea came from. And I was never a podcast person for the longest time. There's actually times that I'll drive in my car in silence because I just need a moment of silence. But she recommended some podcasts. I recommended some other. We started listening to them. We're like, this could be super fun. So
it's
here we are.
Basically what we do on a daily basis. And that 9 a.m. phone call is, if I had a microphone, I would literally record that. Yes, we'd have to take the bulk of it out, but it is interesting to see kind of what our day-to-day is and to debrief together and kind of bounce ideas off of each other.
So what we want to do is a version of that with you. And because, like Michelle said, a bulk of that would be cut out and some of it's just really not that interesting. I think that what we're going to start with today is talking about the high, the low, and the hilarious. Yeah. So this morning specifically, we spoke to each other, obviously, but we didn't talk about real estate. So, Michelle, what was your high, your low, and your hilarious on this beautiful Thursday?
So, my low of the week, and just being frustrated with my clients. So, I've had this client that I've been looking for a rental for, okay? Came from honestly from Instagram, believe it or not. His girlfriend referred him to me. He's in Ottawa. I've now written 3 offers for this poor guy on a rental. Oh and his file's not bad. It's just a matter of, and he's not even coming to Montreal. So I'm running around looking at these places. He's writing these offers, putting his trust that the property is okay. And I can't get him this rental. And no one wants to cooperate with me. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have something like settled for him. But I feel bad. And that's what sometimes people need to understand. Your file can be amazing on a rental. You can be working with, I think I'm a decent broker, and we can
fantastic
be super
broker. Come on.
Organized.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you don't know who you're competing with. And he's like, well, can I know what the other person put or whatever? And you guys, maybe some people don't understand. on a sale and a rental, when you put forward an offer, the only information that you will know if there's another offer on the table is A, if there's another offer and how many there are, and usually what the deadline is. I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other person is. I don't know if they're being represented by the broker that had the listing or by another broker, what the price or whatever. So what I tell people, and again, for a sale or for a rental, is you put your best foot forward. So if you're comfortable offering X price, and if I call you and I say you didn't get the property for a sale, for rental, I didn't get the property, well, then you have to be okay with that. Like, you have to say, you know, I put my best foot forward.
And I think what the other thing is, and you mentioned it, is, you know, sale or rental. But the biggest thing is rentals are still a little bit run like the Wild Wild West. Like, we're not controlled the same way by our association. It's harder for a broker to get in trouble. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's just a luck of the draw. And another thing that I think constantly from our colleagues we're told is, or Michelle is told, why do you do so many rentals? Like, rentals are a waste of time, or it's not a good source of income. First of all, it's a great source of income. If we're looking at black and white of collected to date, and we're now in the second quarter, Michelle's collected more money than I have. Closed and collected are two different things. Yeah. She has a revolving door. So like every 2 weeks, Michelle's getting a paycheck. I don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks. So she's created that stability for herself through the rental. She does her sales on top of that, but by managing our rental portfolio, which is huge, she gets to have that stability. And she puts as much effort, and a good broker will treat a rental no different than a sale. So she's hustling and doing as much work as someone is for a sale, but for a rental, because that client is no different to her. So that's a huge misconception. So on the side of our colleagues are like, what a waste of time. It's not. If you're starting in real estate or you're having a hard time building kind of constant income, I would say hit the rentals, but you've got to treat them like sales. And from the public, they're like, oh, it's just a rental. Well, it's not just a rental. For our clients, specifically our landlords, which is where we focus more of our attention on, we give them a service that's comparable to what we do for sale. We put the effort, we put our name, our stamp on everything we do, regardless of what it is, price range, or whether it's a rental or a sale or whatever. So I think that's a really important thing to kind of clarify for people.
Yeah, you just have to get kind of a hang of it. And for the rental, like you said, we put the same amount of effort. And go to something I saw yesterday. I'm not going to go into a rental, and just because it's a rental, I'm not going to spend on our photographer to take photos, because those photos can one day be used to sell your property. So I see a lot of rentals, and I'm sending clients listings of rentals, and the photos are god awful.
Oh my God! Did you see the one with the like garbage bags on the floor and like dishes everywhere?
I do a
collage?
A collage of awful photos for rentals, and it's brokers don't put the effort into it. And sometimes I wonder, does the landlord know what is being put forward? Because we're not talking about rentals of $400-500. No, $2,000-3,000, and you've been taking your photos with an iPhone.
Well, there's also, have you ever seen some of the properties for sale for like $1 million, and it's an iPhone photo, and you're taking pictures of like the floor, the wall, the cupboard? You're like, what is this? It's like, sometimes you're just you wonder if the client actually sees it, or if they don't really care, and you get what you pay for. So I guess in some strange way, if that person's taking a reduced commission, maybe, but like, you only have one shot, and the internet's forever. So it's the same thing for personal as it would be for your real estate. That's kind of how I see it. So that's your low. What's your high?
Go with your low.
I would probably say that this week the low has been medium. Like, there's been no real low this week. No one's listed a property without me that I've been working on or anything like that. I think this week the lows were pretty controlled. More with the highs this week, I think.
Okay, and your high?
Well, were you putting all the pressure on me here? The high is this week I finally closed a transaction that was supposed to close January 28th. Just for reference, today we are April 20th, I believe. So I've been chasing money, which I hate to do.
Talk a little bit about it. A little bit. As much as you can say legally.
So basically what happened was we had an accepted offer, and everybody was super happy. And I've been doing this a long time, as everybody knows. And so I've seen things be done in different ways. So the whole promise to purchase, or the offer, was done with the...
Just to be clear, you were representing the buyer.
I was representing the buyer. So the buyer and the seller sitting down together. We're all sitting here at the kitchen table actually, and we're drinking a glass of wine, which
is very rare.
Very rare, but I've done
To negotiate on the spot.
I've done it a couple times in my career, and every time it's been done that way, it's for a reason and it's done properly. You know, and I come from a business background, so I know that in every room of negotiation, everybody plays a role, right? You have the talker, you have the listener, you have the negotiator. There's other people, but you have a scapegoat, right? So you always use those roles. And so the buyer and myself have this strategy. The vendor and the buyer are working really well together. We're getting this offer accepted. The broker's not really understanding the process, but it's fine. So we kind of, I don't want to call it bamboozle, but we kind of sway by being, you know, sweet and forward thinking. We kind of get the vendor on board on something that I don't know if necessarily if he read it in black and white on paper.
And you're on board with your buyer before
for sure.
Going in. She went into the meeting saying, this is what we're gonna do. I have an offer in my bag. Where do you want to go? That way she knew they were unprepared. In
all fairness, the buyer was the one who kind of came up. We worked together. We'd been working for 2 years to finally find him something. So we kind of worked in synergy, but we kind of caught the vendor and the broker off guard. And by being able to work on his emotion versus him just reading something in black and white, we got him to accept something that maybe he wouldn't have accepted. But it went off without a hitch, kept going forward. The inspection was kind of weird. And then that'll go back to, I guess, my hilarious. And then everything looks like it's going forward. Everything, conditions, good to go. The vendor is on board. Then all of a sudden, during the negotiation, if I go kind of backwards and forwards, I knew that there was a legal hypothec on the property of a small amount. This is a big sale.
What that is?
So a legal hypothec basically is a lien that's been put on through not a bank generally. To make it really like in layman's terms, it was a constructor. It was a contractor who had done work in the apartment, didn't get paid, and put a lien on the apartment. He went to court, filed, put a lien on it. Basically, he was trying to protect his money, and he was going to collect when and if it ever got sold, and he has collateral, which is a percentage of the apartment in this case. So we're talking about something that was in the upper $1 million value, and the legal hypothec was very small. So I'm reassured, not concerned, reassured by the vendor, not a problem. I'll radiate it. I just haven't done it. By the broker, no problem. By two notaries, the amount is so little. There's no mortgage on this property, no other lien. And so the profit of the client is so big that this shouldn't be a problem. We go through one notary, have a little bit of an issue, a couple of other things in the file. No problem, done and dusted. Moving forward. Change notaries. Notary's happy. He says, okay, I'll get this legal hypothec removed. The vendor starts saying, oh, it can't be removed. What do you mean it can't be removed? They're not letting me remove it. Well, they just want to get paid. So in a legal hypothec, it's a collections. Basically, all you have to do to pay and move on. That's it. You pay, you move on. You get a main levée is what it's called, and you move on.
And we're not
I'm doing the very
thousands of dollars.
No, and I'm talking very, very basic here. Like layman's, like this is, I'm not going into detail. This is very just tidbits of the information. So we keep trying, we keep trying, we keep trying. I work with a fantastic notary who I've worked with so many times, and we're like troubleshooting. What can we think of? And Michelle and I are actually driving to the States, which we do. It's one of our fun pastimes. We go to Trader Joe's on a day that we're not busy because we're both on the phone. We could do it together. So it's kind of our day out. And I'm on the phone with the notary. It's 9:30 in the morning, and I say to him, crazy idea. I have a weird feeling. Does the seller actually even have a lawyer who's dealing with this? He goes, Carly, I wouldn't put it past him. That's a great idea. Let me try and go directly to the collector.
Go to the source.
Go to the source. But you have to understand that like it's not that easy, right? Like the lawyers have no interest in talking to the notary, and you're trying to bypass the vendor who is actually not, he has his own lawyer and the lawyer can't talk to you. Anyways, all things going short, he convinces the vendor to give him the name of not his lawyer, but the lawyer who is trying to do the collections.
Another broker would have said, listen, buyer, we're just going to move on to something else. Let's just leave it be.
How about the listing broker who was just like, well, I'll just sit here and doodle my fingers until I get my paycheck.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to run after money. Like that's my personality. I won't run after money, but
it wasn't about the money.
It wasn't about the money.
Getting the property.
But as we all know, in the market that we're working in right now, money's not flying everywhere. So brokers need to get paid. And so I was really surprised with the lack of cooperation for someone that I know. Collaboration from someone I know who's not signing deals every day. And so For me, it's that no deal is done until the client is happy and the money is in the bank account. You know, like that's a big thing for me. And it's whether it's a seller and their check's cleared and they've moved out and they're happy, or it's a buyer and they've moved in and they've decorated and they've lived in their house, it's never over. It's not about me. So when it's not about you, you have to keep working until it's over and done with. So that's it. So what's your
You know
high?
what I find, just to go off that though, it's so sad is when you're going through a transaction with a client, I probably talk to that client more than I talk to my husband, more than I talk to, like, you're constantly
You talk to me more than you talk to your husband.
And then the minute it closes, not that we don't want to have a relationship with them, but it's like, like finally, and then you just go without.
Yeah, I think
Like they're your number one.
Yeah, you're running with your number one, and then they're done. They're gone. They're back. Bye-bye. But that's kind of how, I think that's kind of how it works. So now you have to tell me your high.
The week? I don't even, nothing like crazy yet. It's been like a smooth week. Honestly, what I can say is I'm happy that the market is picking up again a little bit.
Yeah.
It was very quiet, and we always say to each other, like, enjoy the quiet times. Like, don't go and, like, how do I say it? Like,
there's always something to do, but don't panic.
Yeah, don't panic about it. It's going to come.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoyed. Like, since the holidays, it's been more quiet. Yeah. And now rental season's gearing up. We're working with buyers more. And it's just a matter of there's really nothing on the market. And
no, that's the truth.
That's attractive.
No, that's the truth. And, like, I guess because we both don't really have highs, lows, and hilarious. I mean, I have the hilarious, but I'll pack the hilarious back for later, and we'll move on to kind of where the market is. And I think that's the market's really interesting right now. I think that it's different from every quartier, every area. I think that it's different in every price range. And what we're coming into, it's not a buyer or a seller's market, truly. It's depending on the area and what you're looking for. Some people, it's sellers. We're seeing multiple offers in some places. In some places, so a property could price really well, but it'll just float around, just sail in the ocean of sea of property. But there is a lack of property for sale, 100%, 100%. I mean, single family homes, there's a lack of them. We have buyers who have decided to put it on the back burner to move because they just can't find anything. And it's, everyone's like interest rates. That's one thing. That's definitely one section of why the market is moving or not. But they didn't raise interest rates. So we saw a huge influx of offers and buyers this week because interest rates aren't going up. So get a move on. You don't know if they'll go up later, but if you can afford the rate you have, just move. Move, literally just move. Sell your house, move. But at the same time, it's the qualifying for a mortgage is a lot harder, and people aren't getting offered the same lending that they could. That's fine that we're seeing. But it's at the same time, people always die, people always get married, people always get divorced, people always have more kids, blend their families, get new jobs. There will always be movement in the market. It's just now is not a time to go fishing, as I like to call it. Like, don't overprice and hope that someone's going to come and buy your property. Price to market. Realistic and have a reason. You're selling or you're buying. You have to have a reason for both. And it's not the time to feel out the market.
You say that because a lot of people last year just said, I'm just going to list my property just to see what I get.
100%.
And just
100%. And it's not just last year, and it's not just the year before. In all the years of my career, people have always said, you know what, I'll list it and see what happens. And I'm always like, but that's not how it works. What you're doing is burning your property. If your neighbor has been sitting on the market and hasn't sold, do you really think that if your house is a carbon copy of theirs and you price it for the same price or more that you're going to sell? No. Price is always the number one factor of why a property doesn't sell, but there are other reasons too. It's pricing a property properly is the key to success. Properly doesn't mean discounting. Properly means understand the market and understand your competitors. And also understand that right now, more than anything, if you have a fixer-upper, there's not much liquidity in the market. So you're not going to get a premium for your fixer-upper. You're going to get a premium for your turnkey property where someone can just mortgage it and doesn't have to have the liquidity, for sure. So, all these renovators who bought all these properties to flip, are they in the money? Are they going to make a ton of cash this year? Probably not, but they'll still come up on top because, a lot of people don't have liquid money. They have enough for their down payment and maybe a scooch more, but that's about it. So there's something for everyone, and there's a way to invest for everyone.
And and I'm seeing a lot of my tenants are staying where they are this year.
Yeah.
No one's moving.
No, people
Everyone's
there's no
staying
reason to move. Listen, at the same time too, like, I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'm also seeing that in the rental prices have gone up significantly.
But then again, I tell them, your landlord has been affected by the market.
Yeah.
Their condo fees have gone up. Their taxes have gone up. If they were up for renewal this year, their mortgage payments have gone up. So they're being affected. So someone even said the other day, well, I don't get why rentals are not going down because the market's quieter. Well, no, it's actually the opposite.
If they were a buyer, but they were coming to Montreal to go to school, to work for a year, to not become a resident, but have a pied-à-terre or whatever it may be because they were spending time in this city, if they can't buy, what are they going to do? And what do they have more than you do? Cash. That's the truth. So there's no reason that the rental market is being forced down. And that's the truth. If someone can't cover their costs, depending on where they sit, they're willing to sit empty until they can and take that loss over further gains or figure it out. So, where it is interesting though is a lot of people say, oh, are you still doing the 3 months free or this or that? They can do that in a rental building that all it is rentals because they have 50 units and they can manage their gains and their losses.
Landlords cannot afford it.
No, they're single family. They own one property. Also, as we know, like investing in property to make money is not buying one single condo.
No. And to go to that, so we had a client that wrote to us the other day saying basically his friend was wanting to sell his condo in the plateau. And he said, listen, can you just kind of run the numbers for me and let me know? Because I manage other properties of his. And I ran the numbers. And just to give you an idea, what I thought he could rent it for was $2,200. To get everything paid, he needed to rent it for $32. We're talking about $1,000. Even if you furnish the unit, I'm not getting that money. So I told him straight out, I said, unfortunately, I can't get you those numbers. I don't think it's worth it. And he said, I completely understand. And now we're going to look at multiplexes where you have a better chance of getting.
Oh, because you can manage your losses and your gains.
Yeah.
It's much easier to do that than it would be in another type of property.
Unfortunately, buying new construction anymore, and even I did it last year, I'm not in my money.
No, that's for sure. I mean, that's just a reality. Okay, so are you ready for something fun and potentially
I'm
funny?
excited to see what your questions are.
Are you?
So we decided we aren't going to do a Q&A this week. We will do a Q&A next week.
And we'll be posting on our Instagram and asking you to send us questions.
It can be real estate or non-real estate related. You want me to start?
You start.
1-1-1.
You start, and because you keep yelling on answering the questions.
Okay, and you can elaborate on these. Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather show 20 homes to a buyer?
Okay.
And they end up buying a duproprio property behind your back?
F my life, yeah.
Or would you rather sell a property to a buyer after the third visit, like easy, see 3 properties, but finally they back out on inspection and they decide they don't want to buy anymore?
Those both suck.
Yeah.
I would say that I would much rather show 20 properties and have them buy on duproprio.
Okay, why?
But I can explain to you why.
That's a lot more time.
Yes, but the only person that affects is me. So so I'll have wasted my time, and people will have let my client visit whatever. But then they buy a duproprio, and from my experience, when people buy duproprios, it doesn't always go through, like your guy in Saint Jerome, who now is not buying, but will buy probably with you after his experience. Or people end up buying on their own, but they'll sell with a broker.
Right.
And so you're not really using
keep the good relationship.
Correct. And you just say no harm, no foul. Completely understand. And by the way, we can always represent you in a duproprio transaction.
Yes.
I've done probably 20 or 30 in my career where I've represented in a duproprio transaction. It's always good to have a professional involved.
It's worth it.
It really is worth it. But in that case, so listen, 20 visits happens. The other way around, it sucks for the homeowner because they'll have had an inspection, which might not necessarily, have caused a sale to not go through. But because they have this inspection report, they have to now declare anything that's an issue in the inspection report, and my client will have backed out after the inspection based on inspection. So therefore, it's like, we just had Passover. It's like the red X over your house. So it's kind of really is not great for the homeowner. That's not to say that it doesn't happen and not to say that you can't back out after inspection or renegotiate or whatever, but it's more on the guys, the way that you ask the question is that the person is now decided not to buy, therefore they just got cold feet. It's not necessarily because there's something drastically wrong with the property. So I would go with that one.
Okay, go.
Your turn. My card's upside down. Would you rather have to plunge a toilet or do dishes that have been sitting for 3
in a client's
weeks
house?
in their sink and on their table, i.e. the sticky honey in TDC?
Rather plunge a toilet. I've done it before. The tenant had just moved in. I remember that shit I do. And listen to this. So this tenant moved in to Totally Cannot Date, which is a brand new building. There should be
At
no
the time.
issue.
At the time, it was
At
a
the
brand new.
time. Moves in. She's from overseas. Anyways, so she called me. My toilet's not working. It's blocked. She just moved in yesterday. I'm like, what the hell did you do? And the owner used to live there, right? It was the owner that was living there prior.
For like a couple months, yeah.
So I'm already in the building because we're always in that building. I got an email contact. I got an Instagram message the other day. Do you live here? No, sir. No, I do not.
Carly lives in your dreams in the elevator.
So I went up. I realized, first of all, if you're a landlord, please provide a plunger to your tenants because they will not call you. If they call you, just say, yeah, the plunger's in the closet.
yeah.
Knock yourself out. I'm not coming. I'm not
Do you have a
coming.
plunger in your house? There you go.
I'd have to ask. But, so no plunger. I drove, because obviously she doesn't have a car. She just got here. Drive to Home Depot, buy a plunger.
By the way, if you're ever looking for Michelle Morris, you know where you'll find her? Home Depot.
Home Depot, all the time. To Home Depot, go back with my plunger. She's looking at me like I'm going to do it. So obviously.
Rolls up her sleeves.
Buck up. And I plunged the toilet, didn't get it to work. I probably did it wrong. Called my husband on FaceTime. Hi, I doing this properly? We ended up calling a plumber. And
What was in the toilet?
a bunch of toilet paper. Apparently, they
Overstuffed.
the-
They didn't learn the rule that it's one square at a time. That's
Yeah, I rather plunge.
you rather punch? Do you remember when I had the listing on Montclair
No.
and the water was off? You don't remember?
Yes.
So I had a listing in Montclair.
Talk the other day about it. I'll tell you about it after.
Maybe TMI. So I had a listing on Montclair. We had turned off the water because the clients weren't living there.
People, turn off your water if
Yeah.
you don't live there.
In a condo building, it's behind your
Yes.
hot water tank generally. Please do. So I turned off the water, and they had their pool was still filled for whatever reason. And I'm in the house, and a broker visits with her clients, and her client has a child, and they say, "Oh, my client really needs to go to the bathroom." I said, "Please don't go to the bathroom. The water's off. Like, please, no. And I say it 2 or 3 times. And in all fairness, I don't think they spoke much English, but I said it to the broker, and I repeated. And I'm kind of following them around the house. P.S. Don't usually do that when there's another broker. I'll stay within view, but I'm not following them around. They go upstairs, and I go upstairs with them, and then I come back down to give them privacy. Clearly not privacy to go to the bathroom, which is what she does. The child takes a giant dump in the toilet. They don't tell me. They go downstairs and they leave and whatever. And I go back upstairs, close the lights and whatever, and the toilet is open, and I see this giant
Oh my God.
poop. And I'm like,
The hell do I do?
Kidding me? What do I do? I'm not turning on the water because God forbid it's been off for 4 weeks. What am I going to do? So I'm looking. The house is empty. I'm like, there's no bowl. There's no nothing. I go to my car. I take one of my 1,001 cups because if you've ever wondered, Michelle and I have 7 drink containers in the car at once. Fill it up with pool water, and I put the pool water in the toilet.
In the back?
No, in the front.
In the front?
So that I can flush. And first, I'm I don't even know what to do.
Does it work?
It worked enough because it was a child's size, I guess, poo. But I'm like, this is horrible. I was traumatized. I literally called the broker after and screamed at her for a good 2 minutes. P.S. If you know me, you know that I do a lot of that. So there's often, Carly, why are you so mad is the sentence. But I told you not to let them go to the bathroom. It was the worst thing. And it like stained the toilet. It was like the worst thing ever. I had to call my clients and be like, can you send someone?
I'm so sorry. It wasn't
I'm
me.
so sorry. And that wasn't me. They're like, for sure it was you. And I'm like, God damn. Okay, next question.
Next question. Okay. Would you rather show a home that's basically like a tear down, smells like urine?
I love that you have to add it in the urine.
Or show a beautiful property, but the owners say, I'm leaving the dog there. I'm leaving the dog.
What kind of dog? If we didn't
Like a big dog. Like a big dog.
like your dog?
Like my dog, yeah.
If we didn't know, if you didn't know, I don't love
She hates
animals,
dogs, hates
and I'm
dogs.
afraid of dogs. Can I wear a mask? Probably the one that smells like urine is
Really?
a tear down. I can't tell you how many houses that Kate took me that would like
Can we
discuss.
talk about dog pet etiquette during a visit?
Can we talk about how many houses that Kate probably have brought me to that smell like urine or
For
mold?
sure,
So
for
I'm
sure,
okay with that. I'm
for
going to go with
sure.
urine or mold.
Okay.
Can you talk about let's talk about pet etiquette when you're showing a house. Go for it.
In general,
Take your pet with you.
take your pet with you. Take your pet with you. We do not want to see your cat. We do not want to see your dog.
How many cats have you lost, Michelle?
It's a hazard. Okay, it's a real.
And you don't know what people are allergic to. And like, if they're really
We're highly
allergic,
allergic to cats.
yes, we
I
are.
don't want to pet your cat. I love dog, but still, if you're showing the property, the dog's at the ankle.
The pet needs to go for a walk with you or in a cage. I'm sorry. I know that sounds horrible, especially coming from me. And like put away the pet food in the pet bowls. And if you have a pee-pee pad where your dog, like a small dog that goes
Yeah,
to the pad,
put
clean
away
up,
the pee-pee pad.
put away. Because like, honestly, there's nothing worse than, actually there is. There's nothing worse than the smell of dirty dog or urine, dog urine. What's worse is air fresheners and candles that you burn to hide those, because guess what? We know you're trying to hide something and they give people such a headache. Like, just don't do it. No air fresheners, no plug-ins, no candles. You want to go old school? You want to bake some cookies? You want to burn some cinnamon? Go for it. You want your house to smell like Restoration Hardware or Pottery Barn, excuse me? Take a pot, put it on the stove, put some water, put some cinnamon, put some lemon, put some cloves. That's fine. But please stop with the Glade plugins, because all it does is mask something. And even if you're not trying to mask something, everyone thinks you're trying to hide something. And they're looking for water, they're looking for mold, and it's just not a vibe, not a vibe.
We have to go back to the pet thing Carly's referring to. I did a visit in a condo building. Tenant says, yeah, I'm at work, cat's home. I don't like cats, okay?
She's
First
allergic.
of all,
She
I'm
also
very
hates
allergic,
them.
so I can't even touch them. So I'm not picking up your cat to displace it, whatever.
Also, by the way, I'm pretty sure people tell me this all the time because I don't really like animals, that animals know you don't like them, so they want to come to you more. So, of course, the cat that knows you're allergic to it is all over you.
For sure. So, whatever, I go in, I see the cat. Do I First thing, the tenant didn't tell me. He leaves the sink on. Second one, I'm about to leave, ready to leave, close all the lights. Cat's like near the entrance, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hiss at it. It's gonna attack
Hiss
me.
at it.
What do I do? So do I not go? I squeeze out, close the door behind me. This cat puts his freaking head right in the door.
Bolts.
I didn't kick the cat, okay? I promise I didn't kick the cat. But like, I nearly decapitated the poor thing. I just kind of pushed him back into the unit, closed the door, and I was like, "That's it. I'm not going back there." I almost lost. What would I have done if the cat ran down the hallway
This is the tenant's cat and not the owner's.
and picked it up?
Bring a treats? I don't know, a goldfish? I don't know.
Treats probably. They give you the wrong code, and they insist that no, Michelle, it's the right code. I gave you the code. I gave you. Then 30 minutes later, oh, I'm so sorry. The contractor must have changed the code. And your nails, you have no more skin on the tip of your fingers.
Have you ever played Find the Lockbox with your clients on a visit?
all the time.
So fun.
All the time.
Like, and just
crouched, you're bent over
Yeah.
because it's in the corner on the gate.
well, if it's downtown, what post is it on? What number? It is on parking spot A75. Please find it. So just so you know, like, just to clear this out, like in Montreal proper, like the downtown and like the areas that we mostly work in, Westmount,
North
Plateau.
too, it's very popular.
No, I said they don't usually use them.
Yes.
You know, like I'm like, they're in staircases or like random places, but they don't usually use, brokers show up or they make you go get the keys. That's sometimes worse. I hate having to pick up
Displace
keys everywhere.
yourself.
Especially if it's nowhere near where I'm showing the property. Like, just show up, please. Thank you. Have a nice day. Send a Michelle. Send to Miranda. Send somebody. Just don't make me go find your keys. But no, getting your fingers stuck to a lockbox.
So people, to finish your story, if people, so brokers decide they're not going to show the property.
Like
you're
to kind of,
overwhelmed.
you're overwhelmed because you can't multiply yourself so many different ways. So that was kind of, but I think I would rather that. And especially now that we have a structure support team, then the other week I could go on a mini vacation.
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean,
that's kind of
ever planned, but
no. And there's a golden rule in real estate. Plan a vacation, get on a plane, you'll get busy.
oh yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Your phone will blow up.
For sure.
You want to go to the spa, you want to get a massage one day, your phone will blow up.
It's true. It's true. You, what would you prefer?
Like, I like the steadiness, but I agree. 4 in one shot, because once you get in a role,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you do all your contingencies, you do everything, and then done.
There's something about us, like we're extremely organized, specifically
Thank
me.
God.
I am anally organized. So it's mechanical. Like you just bang, 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 bang. And that's it. It works. Then you'll have 4 best friends that week.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. This is more of like a design personal one. Would you rather only decorate with one color
Okay.
or only be allowed to use a color once? Do you mean
On each thing.
like would you rather have an all white house?
Yeah.
Like your furniture, your tiles,
I
everything white?
can't with the all white houses anymore.
Or would you rather only be allowed to use like white on your tile, so therefore then you can't use white again, not for the furniture, not for
I'd
anything
rather
else.
the multicolor and keep it like, because I would get around it. I would do all neutral, but the all white houses.
So you do versions of white? That's not it.
No, like I would do like a white, and then I would do like a beige, and then I would do a black, and I would do a brown,
Okay, fair.
and I would do like a wood, and then I would do like a texture. I can't, you can do the white houses. I can't, like, if I see a white house now, the white cabinets and the white floors and the white island and the white.
I mean, I'm not really one for color. I mean, I'm putting more color in my life. My house now has green and orange in
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But before I was a very neutral human.
yeah, but I think everyone was.
No, some people, I mean, for someone who likes to wear color, my house is pretty neutral.
Yeah, you dress more colorful than I do.
Yeah, I like to wear color, but I don't decorate in color. Okay, your turn.
Okay, would you rather run a team of 30 people?
Okay.
And constantly always
Yeah.
have a big team for the rest of your career?
Okay.
Or would you rather be alone for the rest of your
Alone. Why do I even have to ask
Really?
me that question? I do not like to manage people. It's not my strong suit. Miranda, stop laughing at us. Michelle, stop laughing. I don't like to manage people. If I wanted to manage people, I would be an office director. That's not what I want to do. I want to sell real estate, and I want everyone on my team to have a purpose and come to me for guidance. I think I give great
This
guidance.
is not a circus.
This is not
the
This
zoo.
is not the zoo. That doesn't work so much, that cop. But no, I think that it's, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I think I give great guidance. I think I can share my experience and I can help a lot with things, but I'm only good at that when the person comes to me with an issue. Otherwise,
You're not a mind reader.
I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not
a coach.
I'm not a coach. I'm a great mommy, but like a child cries if they need anything or they tell you what they need. I'm a good mommy. I'm not a good coach. I'm not a good, director of a team. Like that's not what I never wanted to do that. And it was never in my game plan. My game plan was to continuously add people to this team to make them better by being associated with me. I know that sounds super full of myself, but that's not what I meant. Like,
Yeah.
it's, like Michelle has come into her own because she can come to me with whatever she needs. I don't coach her.
We're not
I listen
all
to her
Bethlehem.
bitch. I don't coach her.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
You? What would you rather? Would you rather me have 30 people or would you rather it just be the two of us?
Oh, just the two of us.
So there you go. Just
With
the
Miranda.
two of us. With Miranda, yeah. Okay. Next one. Would you rather show a house with no lights on, like no lights, which happens to us more often,
All the time.
or no AC or no heat, depending on. So like think about it.
Yeah, and the
40 degrees,
Yeah.
40 degrees outside and there's no AC and the windows are closed, or no light.
I'd rather the no light, honestly. It sounds bad because the no light, like I'm still comfortable. The heat, like if the client's not comfortable
Yeah.
in the property, they just want to get the hell out, and like you've lost their attention.
sure.
The no light, first of all,
Right, they won't see anything.
I'll explain to you why we don't have light in unit. Is because investors, basically, one tenant or one buyer moves out, one seller moves out, and if there's a gap, the investor who's not living in the property forgets that there's such thing as a hydro bill.
Well, how about the fact
And that they have to pay the hydro bill.
or someone gives us, they move out, they give us their house for sale, and they decided there's no overhead lighting, but they decide to take all the floor lamps. Like, what do you want me to do with that? Yeah.
So then you go into the unit, and at some point, hydro cuts you off. It's rare in the winter, but it's often in the summer. Thank God in the summer, we don't show till 9 p.m. So, or then they start thinking, well, there must be a problem with the heating. There must be a problem with this.
Fair.
The hydro is very easy. Oh, I'm sorry, my client forgot to pay. And you make a joke out of it.
Yeah. Michelle's very good at telling people that they haven't paid.
Yeah, pay your bills. Pay your bills. Okay, is this our last one? Yes, this is our last one. Okay, this is personal related, but would you rather work on your birthday, with your birthday coming up, or do nothing? Like, would you rather just like do a you day, not hear from anyone?
I think I'd rather work.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like when you were young, do you rather go to school on your birthday, or do you rather stay home and do nothing?
I when I was young, I'd rather stay home, and I think that, yeah, and I think that
You're so lonely all day.
well, yes, but for a long time, I also feel like on my birthday, God, I'm getting old. I didn't want to work on my birthday because it was like a time off. But I think that now that I've gotten so much better at scheduling my time, and this year my birthday falls on a Monday, like, yeah, if I'm going to go on a long weekend, I'm going to take Monday off. Yeah. But otherwise, it's fun. I love what I do. So to work on your birthday, I think is really, I don't sit at a desk. So my day can be as long or as short as I want.
Yeah,
so I think I'd rather work
for a lunch and then.
Yeah, I'd rather work on my birthday and that's it. Would you rather do an open house or do paperwork?
Honestly, paperwork.
Same.
I love doing paperwork. Like, I sit at my desk, I get everything done. Yeah. But an open house, first of all, it's like a deal or no deal. Like, either you get people or you sit there for 2
and
hours.
we always say, like, and this is like the new way of doing things. Back in the day it was different because life was different. But open houses are for brokers. Like, it's for the broker that's sitting there. It's for them to get walk-ins and clients. It's not for the property. If someone's serious about buying a home, they're going to schedule a visit. End all be all. Sorry. It might not be a popular opinion. I might get shit on later all over Instagram about it, but like, that's the truth. An open house, black and white, especially for a single family home, or actually, no, excuse me, especially for a condo, an open house is for the broker. It is not for the homeowner in the house, period.
Yeah, open house, you're getting your looky-loos, you're getting your neighbors, which you never know. But one of the reasons I love what we do is that I used to work 9 to 5. Yeah. You count down your hours. You're like, okay, I have 3 more hours of work. I have 2 more hours. Or I have half an hour left. The only time I've ever felt that
open house.
What we do is a stupid open house.
Yeah.
You're sitting there and you're like, okay, now it's 12:30. Now it's the and you're
and you can bring your laptop and you can bring a phone or whatever, but you're not also sitting in someone else's house for that long. No, Bruno.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I rather do paperwork than do an open house. And it's not to say that like, or you need to do an open house in a original way, not original way, but what we do, and maybe people don't know, is usually on Tuesdays or sometimes Thursdays, we call it broker caravan. So basically it's when you list a property and you invite all these brokers that either work in the area or that you believe would have like a client for the property. You invite them over, and then usually you offer them like something to eat. And
brokers are a sucker for a glass of wine and some good nibbles.
They're there. They're there. A glass of wine and a sushi, they're there. So they'll come, and you also get to talk to them about what they're seeing in the market, what they're doing, whatever.
But again, who does that benefit?
The broker.
The broker. It doesn't benefit the property, but at least it gives exposure to people to see the property.
Absolutely.
And there are some agencies that are bigger on it than others, so that's, for sure. But
the open house,
I'm not against doing it. The owner wants me to do it, but I'm not pushing it because it's not my vibe.
You don't
for that.
It's gonna be
I don't. And it used to be, but people shop so much online now that they don't really come to looky-loo. Like, they're not, your neighbors have already seen your property through pictures, so they're not coming and like, you don't really want those people in it. You want serious people to see your house, you know, and we're so flexible. And Michelle and I are always like willing to accommodate. So if someone wants to visit, we're going to make it happen. It's not
And
worth
I
it.
actually think it's better to visit on your own and not have
For sure.
other people wandering, and then you're looking at other people like, what are they going to make an offer? Would they look good here? Like,
It worked 2 years ago. In the last 2 years, it's not there. We're not there anymore. No. So you're done your questions?
I am done my questions.
And so am I. So our last little tidbit for today is we are going to do real estate descriptions that make no sense. Okay, so I'm going to read you a description for a home. Brand new listing, corporate bungalow in the best neighborhood, perfect for a young family, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 garage, a must see. What is a corporate bungalow? Anybody?
What is 2 garage? Is it 2 garages?
Well, that's what I want to know. It's a 2-car
garage
garage or what? But I need your feedback. What is a corporate bungalow? Now, sometimes
maybe they wanted to say like
cozy. Did they not spell like
maybe like formal bungalow?
It's a formal bungalow?
Classic.
Corporate. Don't really know what that's about, but you know, I mean, send us descriptions that you've read that you think are funny, and if you want to let us know what you think a corporate bungalow is, we'd love to hear that.
To know.
But that was just a light one. I'm gonna bring a doozy for next time. That's for sure.
But you know what a lot of people are doing now is they're doing AI description.
Yeah, but read your goddamn AI description.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're Francophone and you translated it to English, ask an Anglophone if it makes any sense.
Yeah.
Same thing for the French. And you need to have both languages. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Yes.
Like, we can't just have them in English. You can't have them just in French. Like, my client's
We
Anglophone.
have foreign buyers. We have people that don't speak.
Racist.
We have to accept, like, les deux. So.
Mais nous, on parle les deux and on écrit dans les deux langues.
Yeah.
That's it.
Easy peasy.
So next week's episode,
Next week's episode,
Michelle, lead it away.
we would like to debunk what you guys see as what you believe we do, basically. So we're going to debunk what you see on Selling Sunset, what you see on $1 Million Listing.
What do you think we do in a
you
day?
see on
Instagram.
TikTok.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about what our real lives are. And I think you got a good idea today of we plunge toilets.
We make keys.
We make keys. We clean out toilet bowls. Like
We run after cats.
we run after cats.
But
we
I
run
think,
after money.
unfortunately.
But
I think that, we need your participation. So write into us and we'll post a question box on our Instagram.
And if you have any questions as well,
Yeah.
send them anonymously. If you have something that you're not comfortable asking your broker, or if you want to buy a property, you want to sell a property, and you're not ready to do so,
I am happy to give you unsolicited advice any time of the day. Thanks for listening to us today, and make sure to subscribe to our podcast. You can find us where you find your podcasts, Spotify and others.
And feel free to write into a DM if you have any questions and whatever you guys want to hear from us.
We're all full of unsolicited advice.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks so much.